Hello dear teachers, welcome back to a brand new episode of The Better Teacher, where we tackle some important topics that may have bothered you or troubled you in the past, and or you're just curious to know more about. And of course, we discuss all of these topics with none other than Bala sir. Sir, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks, Rashmi.
Today's topic, sir, is about mental health is all over today, and it's very important. Even I believe that it is extremely important for people to be aware of mental health. But today I want to discuss about mental health and well-being of our teachers. What about the mental health and well-being of our teachers? You have been a teacher yourself. You have played very different roles in a school system, in education, throughout your profession. Since you've been in that role, you've been in their shoes, can you throw some light on what kind of strain and what kind of mental stresses teachers go through in their profession?
Yeah, that's a very important question, especially in the current context. You see, if you look back into a school system 50 years before, a teacher was a celebrity, right? When a teacher walked on the road, almost everybody stood up and gave a salute to him and respected him. He was, a social role model, right? Over the years now, with the number of schools coming through and the number of methods of teaching coming through, the very profile of a teacher is changing. He is also a part and parcel of a society which is in stress. I say a society is in stress. Why the society is in stress? Because changes are happening, transformations are happening, adaptability to change, the speed of change, all these things appear to be factors in that. And with the number of teachers required in the field today, a large number of them who don't want to be teachers, they also get into the profession, and some of them think that it is a stopgap for them to, and then finally they get stuck up into the profession. So the mismatch between what they want to be, what they are, that's also creating a kind of an internal stress in them. But these are aside. But as a teacher, when you walk into the classroom, that universal problem is the teacher is, how am I going to face my students? That's a stress that you have today, because children are coming with a lot of energy, a lot of questions, and a lot of doubts to get cleared. This is not the time when whatever the teacher said was the final, and the child went back to the parents and this is how my teacher taught me, right? Now today the children question the teacher in the class and they come very well prepared. And as you rightly said, in the digital society, the children are much more digitally comfortable as compared to the teachers over there. So their expectations of the way the concepts to be delivered are different from the way teachers deliver it in their own way. That mismatch is also a problem. So what I would call is the stress caused due to the change. Two, the stress about performance, right? Have I done well? Am I well prepared in the class? However you're prepared in the class, you don't know what's going to happen in the class. So that anticipatory neurosis that teachers have. And then finally when they deliver the class and come back, now at the end of the year, you are going to deliver to the school a performance in the class where the schools look for the mean marks, maximum number of marks. And today is a world where schools don't compromise on 60s and 70s of students, but they say, Kitra 99, how much have come, how many symptoms you have scored. So that's the kind of deliverables the teacher has. So, teaching, though glorified as a noble profession, the professional competencies and professional norms that are set are mostly consumerist. So the conflict between the ideal teacher and the performing teacher is a very debatable point in which the stress could happen. And more on that, the teachers also need to address the requirement of parents, So they are in a classroom where they cannot use an inappropriate word, they cannot use an inappropriate language or body language, they cannot scold the children, right? So there are so many restrictions and limitations that children have. So to work in all these kinds of challenges and still get celebrated by the teacher, the students, is the challenge the teacher faces in the classroom.
So how can a teacher, because a teacher cannot avoid these kind of stresses that are there in their profession, that is not possible. So how can a teacher deal with the stress?
See, basically a good teacher should be like a good shock absorber, right? It varies from age groups. For example, as I said in another meeting, the children up to class 5 are mostly amygdalian and driven by emotions.
Correct.
Therefore, they do not, whatever they do not think quickly. They are emotionally, responding. But as you go up from class 6 to 8, where you find the children are more curious and they are restless, and therefore it is very difficult to hold their curiosity. And they progress further, pre-adolescent and post-adolescent issues there, and therefore they are emotionally there. So you find that entire schooling structure, there is one kind of a problem or the other to handle. Therefore, there is nothing to say that every teacher can have this kind of competencies to handle. It depends upon age appropriate and environment appropriate, culture appropriate, methodologies have got to be done. However, a good teacher is a balanced human being, does not react. A good teacher should respond rather than react, right? Response means a considered, communication. Reaction is a non-considered communication. So, the teaching today requires a responsible and responsible response rather than reactive response to their situation required. And a teacher needs to be a very happy individual, right? Because if the teacher is not happy, the classroom will not be happy. It's easily said than done. Many teachers may say, "Sir, how can it be happy?" But I think a self-conscious teacher who is sure that that I do my best, who is having the feeling I am always looking for the betterment of the children and betterment of the school, makes them free from fear. A fearless teacher, courageous teacher, happy teacher is a teacher with a good mental health.
Okay, so the point that you made that good teachers are like shock absorbers, and the response and reaction, the difference that you spoke of, I actually find it very helpful, because anytime I find myself in a stressful situation where I think I'm about to react, I always try to hold myself back, count back to maybe 5 to 1, 10 to 1 or whatever, and think of I should respond and I should not react to the situation. And we should also, I think, learn to understand, to detach ourselves from the situation and not take things personally. It is not always meant to attack a person, as an individual. It is the situation that is happening. I think that detachment and understanding the difference between response and reaction helps a lot. So, one more question. Now, I have done quite a bit of research on stress, and there is something called eustress, which actually helps us to push ourselves to be a better version of ourselves and to progress in whatever we want to do. So, how should teachers manage their eustress, and should teachers first of all understand what eustress is and actually use it to their advantage?
Yes, very true. All of us have got eustress in one or the other, right from the kitchen down to you are catching the bus to everything, you have some kind of stress. Eustress is a positive stress which facilitates you to push some more dopamine into your system so that you can act faster, quicker and more responsibly to that. So, eustress is not a defeatist trend. Eustress is born out of an anxiety to perform well, to perform at the best, right? And also that you do it right. So there are many people who may not do fast, but there are people who want to do it correct. So they also have that I am always right. So they also have got eustress, So eustress can manifest into different dimensions. For a teacher in the classroom, that how best I can deliver this particular concept in the class. For example, as a teacher of chemistry, whenever I went, I have my preferred choices topics over there. But when certain topics like thermodynamics and come, I always felt that how am I going to deliver? I used to be a little more stressful on those days as compared to. This is a law of nature, right? So I don't think it should be, treated with either as a negative or a contemptuous manner. But eustress is one which facilitates to bring all your energy potentials in the system together to maximize your performance. And I think it is positive, and you don't have to be really worried about it. But then don't take too much of eustress also into your head, so that it leads to a cardiac arrest.
Of course, sir. I think back when I was a teacher, for me a most basic eustress was the questions that my students would ask me. And that actually pushed me to prepare better, go beyond the books that were there, go beyond the curriculum, see what is out there in the real world, the application of what I was teaching them. And that is how I actually became a better version of my own self.
Yeah, you are right. See, but I tell you one thing, whatever preparations you have made are not good enough to meet an inquiring child, a child who is, therefore, preparation is very important, that gives you eustress. But with all that, be ready to meet some challenges in the classroom. That's a part of the game, and that is a stimulant for your further learning.
Absolutely. Wonderful, sir. Thank you for throwing some light on mental health of a teacher and also eustress. Dear teachers, this can be a topic which is a little sensitive for you. You may not be able to talk to many about it, and you may actually be going through a lot of stress. If you have certain questions that you want us to address, please write to us. We will try our best to ensure that we address all the questions that you send us. And please be tuned and come back for the next episode of The Better Teacher. Both Bala sir and I will hope to see all of you in the next episode. Thank you so much for joining us today.